the ceiling, the floor, the roof, the wall. Those are things we consider when we are drawing support and resistance. So the point number one is you zoom out. You zoom out your chart. So for instance, this is very small. So if I go to 1 hour time frame, you realize that it looks tiny. Okay, looks tiny. Now, if you zoom out, let's say to this level, it's nice. Some people like to use it this way. But what it means is that you may not have access to previous data. So you zoom out, something like this, which means that when you drag it up to this level, you can at least see some information backward. Now, what you do after you zoom out is you draw the most obvious levels. You draw the most obvious level. You don't have to spot somebody who just say, okay, this is support, this is support, this is support, this is support. Then the whole chart becomes some way. So what you have to do is that you have to draw the most obvious level. How many times or how does that support or resistance becomes valid? Once you know that, your decision making to be able to identify what we call key levels will be accurate. Key levels. Now, if you are trading and there are no key levels, you are automatically doing the wrong thing, which means that you are not able to have any proper setup. And once you don't have a proper setup, market will not favor you. Now, key levels are respected. Key levels are respected once, if let's say market has gone up, as it is coming down, it respects the key levels. Now, when you are drawing support and resistance, the observation you make or what you see before you spot support and resistance will be different from what I see. So our support and resistances will not be the same. So our decision in the market will also not be the same. For example, I posted a signal today, and then one of my students sent me the signal. I was like, he's on another page, and they said sell. So why do I give a buy? So I told him that it is based on analysis. So mine is buy, theirs is sell. So after 2 hours, he came back to me that the signal is fire. So when it comes to analysis, you also understand that it's not really the brokers, it is we that do the analysis, and things that we need to look at are not there. So we have factors that come together to give us that support and resistance. Then the time frame that you are going to use to do the support and resistance is also needed. So which time frame are you going to use to do the analysis? Now, what you must also know is that each time frame has their higher time frame. So if you want to trade on 15 minutes, if you are a 15-minute time frame trader, each higher time frame is 1 hour or 4 hours. If you are a 5-minute time frame trader, each higher time frame is 5 minutes or 15 minutes or 1 hour. If you are a 1-minute time frame trader, each higher time frame is 5 minutes, 15 minutes or 1 hour. Now, there are points in time people go and do some feature that, okay, I'm using this time frame to do the analysis. I don't have problem with it. But the time frame you are using, what is the corresponding effect of it from one point to another? That is what you must look at for. So Mostly the first thing you have to do is to look at least the daily time frame. Whether you are a scalper, you are a swing trader, a long-term trader, whatever. If you will not go that way, then you have to look at least 4-hour time frame. If you wouldn't do that, then you go to at least 1-hour time frame. Without that, then you need not to trade. All right, so we are currently on 1-hour time frame. Let's see if we can spot some resistance first, then we spot some supports as well. Now, the tools you can use to draw support and resistance depend on the types of support and resistances you are drawing. Is it a diagonal? Is it rectangular? Is it a Fibonacci base? Is it a moving average base? Types are there. All those determines on the tools you are going to use in that decision making. So when we look at it, we have demand and supply and support and resistance zones that are embedded in each and every support and resistance. So to take it from the question who asked, is it Samuel? Yes, Samuel asked, based on, do you draw it on the wick, or you draw it on the body, or you draw it on the opening of the body? Now I will tell you that you draw it based on the best fit that touches. So for instance, we can say this is, someone will say this is a resistance, somebody will say this is a resistance, somebody will say this is a resistance, but this is the best fit of resistance. Let me zoom in out a little. Okay, all right, so when you look at this particular decision you are making here, we have 1, 2, 3, almost 4, and 5. And you see the market has dropped because it has attempted to push through so many times. It didn't work. So this whole line becomes your resistance. Now when we zoom out, let me spot it. So we zoom out and you guys see something quickly. Okay, so when we zoom out, alright. So when we zoom it out, this is what you are seeing. So at this point, you have a touch here, we have a touch here, we have a touch here, but this was not able to touch. Somebody will say, okay, I'm bringing it down a little. But when you bring it down a little, you didn't get the best fit. You're only working with this particular touch. So I would prefer to put it on this chart, on this level here, which give me touches here, touches in this whole environment here and here. So I got the best fit. Now to also validate it, when it comes to zoning, you can add the 2 touch at the top here, which give you this whole area become a zone, which gives you this whole area to become a zone. That is how you spot your support and resistance. Now, when you are learning, if you are continuing, you'll get to a point where you will realize some theories when it comes to the law of demand and supply, when it comes to the law of support and resistance. Now, there are 2 different things. For example, before market finally make this decision to go down, it will validate here to become this whole area to become a zone before going. So at that same point, it may also validate this whole area to become a supply zone or a demand zone. Now, when you look at it, the D and S, and then the S and R. This is the demand, this is the supply, this is the support, and this is the resistance. So when it comes to support, demand exceeds supply, and then resistance is supply exceeds demand, and vice versa. Based on how you can understand and conform with it, it's cool by you. But just know how the two works together. Demand exceeds supply at a point, and then supply exceeds demand. Then we have, how do you work them out? Now, does it mean you spot the top, that's the end? No. You must find other ones. So by finding other ones, you zoom out again. So let me zoom out. Okay. So probably I can see up to this level. So you now take your horizontal line again and spot. So I got one here. I'll take this because I'll get 1, 2, and 3 touches here. Then at this point here, someone can also spot another support here. Sorry, resistance here. Then you come down again. Somebody can also spot another resistance here. Now when you look at it, at this whole point, there is something which was a support tend to a resistance. We have support tends to a resistance, and resistance tends to support, in that order. So it is not all about I'm finding support and resistance, but we are finding levels at which price has reached, and then price could respect along the journey. So we also have this layer here where we can get these 2 touch, or these 2 touch, these 3 touch here, 1, 2, 3 at the same time. Now when you look at the left, you realize that it was a support that was broken and turned to a resistance. Then we come to the bottom as well, where you can also get some best fits here. We bring it down. So all this whole area has support. So to get the best fit, I'll put it here. As I put them here, I can validate that place to be a zone by adding the second layer to touch this level. Someone asked a question about stop hands yesterday. This is the stop hands. This boy here. This is also like a stop hand. This is also like a stop hand. This is also a stop hand. Based on how you spot, you draw your support and resistances, or the demand and supply, you will know where a stop hand will happen from. And that is the advanced layer of it we call the IOF, which maybe, I'm not sure we'll get there before the end of the class. Okay, so primarily this is what we do as supports and resistances. Now at every support, like I said, there is a zone. So let's see if we can look at a zone in it as well. So you come and take your horizontal tool again. When you put this here, this 2 touch gives you a zone, which you can also look at it that it validates from the left hand side as well. So at this point, when you zoom out, you realize that you have inculcated or put together the week. Some of them, the opening and closing of the candles, are all involved in the decision making. Now when you are doing a zone trading, then it means that after the 1 hour time frame, you have to go to 15-minute time frame, and then you can also spot some of those things yourself. Now when you spot it well on the bigger time frame, you can easily work it out on the smaller time frame. So what we do was on 1 hour, I realized that according to 15 minutes, it respects it nicely for you. You can see it clearer now. So once you do it nicely and it's correct, you will start seeing the results. So at the same time, these support and resistance levels can be considered as demand and supply zones, or support and resistance zones. And like I said, when you're using the law of support and resistance, when price gets to on support 1, 2, 3, 4, or 3, and fall, we say it's strong. But when it comes to the law of demand and supply, once the zone has been reached so many times, it becomes weaker. So when you don't know how to integrate the two and apply it, you end up doing the wrong thing. Probably market, you are going to use you're using support and resistance, and market get there the third time, you say, oh, it's strong, got rejected. The fifth one is coming, maybe the fifth one is coming to break it. So when it comes to the law of demand and supply, when a fresh zone is created, that is when you invest big. Don't remove that factor from your head for now. It's a law. When a fresh zone is created, you invest big, but remove it from your mind. Okay. Now, there are some factors that you consider when you are drawing support and resistances with the advantages. Now, it can help you enter a trade and exit a trade, which is very normal. When we say entering a trade, when these things happen here at this level here, someone can decide that, okay, I'm entering a short sell, and there's this somewhere here. Actually, this is a 15-minute time frame, so it's a lot of money though. Somebody will also decide to buy at this point and exit somewhere here. It's also cool, but this is the right place to enter the market from. At this area, market gave you a confirmation at this level, so you enter prior market here, put your stop loss always outside the zone nicely, and allow market to flow. You would have been in a very nice profit. You would have been holding that trade for over weeks now. Okay, so that is how you maneuver the market and go about it. So if you didn't enter here, then this is another entry level for you. Now at this point here, we have what we call ranging market. So market has ranged and created what we call a continuation pattern. So when you look at it, you can draw something like this and get your trend line. Can get a trend line here as well. Somebody can also see something like a flag, a bearish flag. Somebody will also see a pennant. People will see different things from it. But at the end of the day, it has range and break below. It has range and break below. So when market is doing all these things, you wait patiently for it to create another fresh zone. Then you can enter the market and enjoy the trade. But should you have probably entered from this level here, you can trail your stop. So at this point, once market is misbehaving here or doing this ranging, you can just put your stop loss on this level or a little bit above this level here and allow market to do whatever it's doing. So once market break this whole level, you can adjust your stop loss and put here. Once market break this level, you can adjust your stop loss and put here. So this whole area, 1, 2, 3, are all called key levels. And if you look at this side, the same way it went up. But if market go up the same way it goes up, nobody will do analysis. Or just enter a sell. So there must be some delays in decision making, which make market have the right price action movement. The right price action movement. So those are things you consider. Now it's not just a they will do and do and do and do and do till you get the concept clearly. I still draw support and resistance. You must just try it until you become used to it, where you can just look at the chart and be able to say, oh, okay, this is a support, this is a resistance. So with this, market is going to do A, B, C, or D this level. All right. So that is it for how to draw support and resistance. Now, when you look at this area, we have an area of value here, because as market is moving downward, something is happening. So at this point here, I still have another resistance here. 3 touches, perfect resistance. Then at this level too, we have some resistances here again. You can get some here again, which is this actually break above. But then if you want to take it from this layer, you will take 1, 2, 3, and 4 into consideration. Let me just put it for you. So you take 1, 2, 3, 4 into consideration. Then you can get another one at this level. Another one at this level. Now when you go to 1 hour time frame, it may look closely. But should you go to 5 hour time frame to make more 5 minute time frame to make more sense to you, then you can equally see another support and resistance within it as well. So what you do is that once you are trading 5 minutes, if you are a 5 minute time frame trader, look at 15 minute time frame, which is its higher time frame, and see how market is behaving, how market is reacting, and apply that same rule to where you are trading. But to be at the safer side, you don't just count to its higher by 1, you can go by 2 to 1 hour time frame and get the confluence clearly. We call it confluence. CONFLUE, and a CE. Confluence. So confluence only means that, okay, support and resistance, I got candlestick pattern, maybe I have a moving average, maybe I have a trend line, maybe I use Fibonacci, they confirm that market is coming to sell, so you enter a sell. That's a confluence. Now there are few factors you must consider. Support and resistance work for all time frames, 1 minute to 5 minute time frame. It works with what we call price action, and then also work with indicators. Alright, so now when we come to price action, it's all about how market is moving. It's very simple as ABC. How market is moving, and then the shapes or pattern it is developing, what it's going. That's all about price action. Then how the candlestick pattern, support and resistance helps or conform with candlestick patterns. So after you get your support and resistance, the next confluence is what candlestick is doing to confirm to you that market is changing direction. My friend is pin bar. So some people use other ones like engulfing. Some people also use the haramis as well. So the haramis actually show you the harami, the dojis, the dragonfly, they actually show you the rejections. But because I am looking at the turning points, my concentration is at where is it turning from. So my friend is the pin bar, and the pin bar has a lot of candlesticks within its environment that tells you this is a pin bar. When you zoom out and we are continuing the class, you see all those things clearly along the way. Then the factors you have to consider to make sure it's valid is how many times price has tested that level. Then the how recent is the support and resistance. Like people will say, when you take a signal, you should back test it. So when you are back testing, are you taking signal the support and resistance from 20 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago? Now, even what we drew has worked well in January. So that during the January, you'll see market has respected what you've done. But should you be working with January data, it means that you would be looking for a support in this whole area, which means that what we do here is current support and resistance, which will have current influence on your market as well. Then you must look at the time frame. So like I said, when you want to get proper support and resistance, you don't really concentrate on the smaller time frames. Smaller time frame, what we do is to just get proper entries from smaller time frames, because probably you did your analysis on 1 hour and then you are expecting a close of a candle to confirm the direction of the market. Sometime by the time the candle is close on 1 hour, the direction or the market has moved too much. So you just only count to the 15 minutes or 30 minute time frame to look at how many candlesticks every 4 candles on 15 minutes will give you 1 hour candle. So if you are looking for a rejection, that rejection candlestick you should have seen on what's the name, on 15 minutes. So meaning if you see the rejection candle, according to the law of candlestick, after you see the evidence candle, you enter the trade on the next candle. So if that's what you are doing, it means that you would have entered the trade 45 or 30 minutes earlier before the 1 hour candle is completed. That is why we switch between time frames to know which time frame best suits my entry point so that I can get it. We call it sniper entry. So there are points in time we'll say the smaller time frames are irrelevant, but it's not always like that, because we can still look at this, see that market has respected it. So a scalper would have been making profit because this move is making sense to a scalper. So those are things you have to look at. And then we look at it too, the move on the time frames also have some little influence on the market, which on the bigger time frame can reopen your mind to certain things you did not watch. For instance, I just put this horizontal line here, which validate this as a support, then support here again, and then resistance here. So if I bring it down a little, it means that I will get 1, 2, 3 touches, and then 1, 2 touches for support. So this is a support time to resistance. Scalpers would have made a lot of money from this move alone right now. Even just this move alone. Even this move alone. So that's how you make your decision in the market. We have types of support and resistances. Actually, I updated this knowledge today because I'm trying to come to bring together information and share it with you guys, for you guys to know the dynamics in the system, so that you don't be there and then people will come and influence and deceive it with a lot of rules that are not really working in the market. I remembered I said something the last time on most of the information we are acquiring in the market on online and stuff are fake, because you realize that there are points in time you get the information that is good to sell on the support before you realize the market is actually buying and stuff like that. We sell on the resistance, it breaks it and it's buying. Today I saw something on Facebook, the guy was like, Forex trading is a scam. I laugh because lack of knowledge, my people perish. Right. So you have moving average, and the moving average can help you know the direction of the market, which gives you what we call dynamic support and resistance. Dynamic support and resistance. So as we are coming to the 1 hour time frame, let me take off these irrelevant ones I spotted to make the chart clean, like people have been saying. All right, so moving average. People use 50 SMA. I use 50 EMA. The two are okay, just that the movements are a little bit different. All right, so let me just put 50 SMA and 50 EMA for you guys to look at something. You get it at under indicators, and then under indicator you get it at trend. So moving average, period is 50. So we have simple. Let me make the simple gold. Shift is 0. Yep. So that's the 50 EMA, SMA. So let me now add 50 EMA. So 50 EMA, which is exponential. Let me use my favorite color for it. It's purple. Okay, so when you look at it, you realize that one is faster than one, and one is delaying than one. So there are points people will use the two to make a decision. For instance, the decision is that it has broke here, which you can just enter but without doing too much analysis. People trade like that. They just wait for the candle and the moving averages to make decisions for them, and then they enter a trade. Now, as you can see, at this point here, the moving averages, whether you're using the 50 SMA or the 50 EMA, they act as a support at this level for you. So as market is going up, they are resting on the moving averages. Then at this point, they act as a resistance because they are above price. So market is resting on them. So when you come to decision making in trading and you master moving averages, you know how to use them, when to enter. They actually give you the best entry points in the market. So the 50 moving average is just telling you on the time frame you have counting 50 candles, this is the possible move of the market after 50 candles, and probably this is the next move of the candle. Now at this point you realize that the moving average is in the market, in the price. So as it is in the price, you see it as consolidating or ranging. So we have the impulsive market. It impulse, consolidate a little, break below, consolidate a little, break below. So as a moving average trader, your best point to enter the trade is at this level, this level, this level. At this point you don't do anything. This level you can make a decision in the market. Right. So people are against moving averages. Some say it does not work, but the truth is that I use moving averages as well. I use price action, I use patterns, I use everything, but moving averages give me confluence, or they help me get confidence. So I also add another moving average for 200 EMA, 200, which give me, don't worry, we'll look at these things along the line. So the 200 is heavier than the 50, which actually tell you the general trend of the market within 200 candles on the chart. So it gives you the general trend of the market. We have a way we trade these two closely, and you can make a lot of money. So when I said you can enter a trade here, you realize that price has broken the 200 EMA and the 50 EMA. So it gives you the confluence to enter the trade and make your money. At the same time, it broke it at this level, then we respected it. At the same time, what happened here? You see it at this level. Now, mostly when you are looking, if you are looking at the chart after, it's nice. But before you create, it's not easy. So sometimes you don't just look at the previous data, but you backtest by trying the current data and see how market will react towards it to enable you to make that right decision. Then you have the horizontal support and resistance, which we have already spotted here, which is the up. Let me pick out these boys from it. Okay, so horizontal support and resistance are these ones that we already spotted. Then we have the round number as support and resistance. This is one of the new things I learned today, which, let's say for instance, you are in the market, then you see price on this level here. Let me spot it. You see price I want to get it exactly 0.00. That's not giving me the chance. So let me just use it to, let me talk about it. Let me circle it quickly. So you see a number like this, and price respected it. It is also a way to look at it from that point as a support or a resistance. So we call it a round number. Somebody can say a whole number. It means it is not having a fraction. So it can give you a valid support or resistance number, or support and resistance price or zone. Then we have the Fibonacci. So to clear, let me clear this. Let me clear a few of them. When you take the Fibonacci, it's a tool, and this is the tool here where you can take price direction, then go with it, where you can look for it acts as a support and resistance for you with a diagonal dimension line. And then at the end of the day, we have levels. So all these levels that come together, they are points where you have to make your decision from. So these are also another way you can. We will look at Fibonacci as a whole, and then we see how they work, how you can draw it correctly. Some are already there in the videos. You will look at them along the line. Then we have the market gap as well. Those who want to trade stock, in fact, market gap is common on the cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, where you see that price was here. See that price was here before market close. The market returned, price jumped to this level. You don't see any formal or real candlestick between the two of them. So as it happens like that, it also gives you imaginary support and resistance as well. Excuse me. Then we have the trend line. For instance, some people don't use trend line. One of my mentors, they don't use trend line. They always only horizontal, but I use trend line. So you may also choose to use trend line or not. For instance, before market make this decision, this is a valid trend line. So market touches 1, 2, and 3 for making the next one. So at this point, this trend line becomes a valid support. Same way, before this market makes this directional move, you can spot a trend line here that touches 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth one, a push down. So that is also considered to be a trend line. They also help you know your support and resistance. Now, trend lines form what we call the trend or the channel, where you see market moving in that diagonal way, then once it moves down. So we also have this where we have break above and break below in decision making, and then when you break below, above, you expect something and make a decision. For instance, if market break above, their point is retrace or retest. A retrace or test. So after a test, you just put your buy order here. You put your buy order somewhere here based on candlestick formation, and put your stop loss here and allow market to give you money. Then the last but not the least is the demand and supply zone, which many retail traders find it difficult to understand. When you start teaching demand and supply, we have high volatility, then where demand exceeds supply as well, and they have influence on how market react. And this is how the big financial markets move. We call them the institutional traders. This is how they move the market. They move it based on demand and supply basis. So when you are making your decision in the financial market and you want to be a successful trader, you must add supply and demand methodology. We have different concepts for them. That helps your decision making. Where you will be a retail trader, but you move with the big guys. There are points in time people set stop loss. For instance, somebody will sell at this level. Somebody will sell at this level and put stop loss here. And the market will come and hit the stop loss and continue selling. That's number one. Somebody will also buy at this level. Then market will come and hit stop loss and continue going that direction. We have terminologies for it, stop hunting and other stuff. And then how you'll be able to dodge all those things is also something you must know. We have an example here where a lot of people will enter a sell here and put the stop loss here. So market move a buy here, put a stop loss here. Market move a little pips away and come and clear the stop losses and push up, come and hit your take profit. So before it moves, it already take you out of the market. And the same thing applies to movement in the market and decision making. Now, the point where you analyze the market and it not work for you, there are so many factors that you need to consider as well. So you need to draw the best fit line, and then you must attach more candles, 1 or 2 or 3. So let's say 2, 3 or 4. And then when market is moving in a direction, it consolidates, and you have choky markets, we have ranging market and the trending market as well. So choky market goes this way and come this way. Now you don't really know the direction of the market. Then you have the ranging market that is in line nicely like this. It's ranging. And we have the trending market. So most importantly, as a trader, you trade the trending market. The ranging market only gives opportunity to scalpers to make a lot of money. But if you are a trader, this is a trending market. But in the trending market, we have ranging in it. Sorry, let me just clear it and then re-give it to you. In the trending market, we have ranging in it. So after in range, rather the market push down with a speed. Then how do you get confluence? After you drew all these things, you need to have confluence. So the moving average and support and resistance gives you a confluence. The moving average and the trend line gives you a double layer confluence. Then we have the moving average, the trend line, Fibonacci level, and then resistance and support, giving you the 4-layer confluence. Then you add your moving average, your candlestick patterns to it. Now, as a trader, if you did not see at least 3 confluence, don't trade. So my setup is a little bit loaded with especially new traders who don't really know much of the information, where you have at least 7 or more confluence. Some people are like, oh, okay, we don't like indicators, we don't want to see indicators. They said using indicators are not good. I will tell you very simple. If my chart is messed like this, like you are seeing, if my chart is messed up like this, that I can't even see anything, once it is producing money for me, I am mark. I don't have to. I say it everywhere, because we follow philosophies that you don't know the reason why the person developed such philosophies. Now, what are your aims? For instance, most of the Singapore traders, where one of my mentors is coming from, they trade on a point where you'll be happy if you make 20% in 6 months on your equity. 20% in 6 months on your equity. You and I, if you are having just $100 and you have to make 20% on it after 6 months, would you even have interest in trading? The way they will apply the ideas of trading, they can even wait the whole month and get one move and be satisfied with it. But you and I, we are hunting. They are now coming to tell us that because someone from Singapore said you don't use indicators, you are not using it, I will wish you good luck. And when you lose, don't come back to me. So my mentor, which is Adam Cole, he does not believe trend line, but I use it because I am not him. He is not me. We are different. We are trading. The centuries of trading experiences are different. But the person that he uses moving average, he uses RSI, resistance support index. Okay, so their point in time, this indicator helps you to identify the move and confirm direction to you. That is why you see some of us using it. And then personally, I have what I call demand and supply. That helps my decision making. Now, when you look at it, you should have been clapping for me already, because almost where I spot the lines are covered, the zones are respected. So these finally come to tell me, simplify my journey as far as identifying zones are concerned. Let me take it off. We have this one that gives us a perfect way of probably, yes, you have done your analysis, all right, but you don't really know how market is conforming and how market is behaving. It actually helped me identify my support, my price support and resistances, what market is moving on. So I can, even though maybe I made my analysis and there is a change in direction coming, it is helping me identify those changes in direction, what I am going my way. Now, will you tell me that this indicator is not needed to help track your work? That's the question. I use it. All right. So these are stuff that you need to look at. And those of you who trade currencies, we have interest rate that also affects the move and also give invisible support and resistance or demand and supplies as well. And this one is unknown to many new traders. So this is an appall. You know, if my old student here, they already start complaining though that I'm giving you guys enough or too much information, right? So supply and demand are the most the retail traders don't learn how to spot them, especially the invisible one. All right, so I use parabolic SARS. I use 2 of them. I use all my setup. You see at least 4 moving averages. You see MACD sometimes, which is a moving average, convergence and divergence, which is an under oscillator. Mostly you'll see it on my chart sometimes. When it comes to boom and crash, trading it also have its own setup that I have, which we use to catch the spikes, and then and then I have developed a complete setup. We call it Wealthy Brain, which gives you at least there's 7 to 8 confluence. We have Ichimoku in it with some other indicators. With your price action, you'll be able to catch market at the right hand and be in it up to a point, which we value what we call our baseline. It's in the Ichimoku. It's called our baseline. So at this point here, this trade you are seeing, probably the Ichimoku baseline would have broken somewhere here that will tell you that market is a downtrend. And my people, following these things will not make you not to become a professional trader. But the truth is that will you become a professional trader and you won't make money? That's why we teach you risk management and give you this thing. And unfortunately, it is free. I don't need money. So you get it for free. You use it. You make your money. You come and buy me one belly. That's my friend. All right. So that's just by the way. All right. So we have some of these tools that helps you to make some decisions in the market. So this is what I use. So I'm only talking about them quickly for you to just know that I'm not a type who will come and tell you not to use something because it's not good. Once you know how to use it, it's just like you buy a car. You never read the manual that this vehicle does A, B, C, or D. No. So that dot you are seeing is also an E that at least probably I'm trading and market is over consolidating. At this point here, market sold, and let's say it's consolidating. It still helps me to know that, oh my guy, relax, it's a sell market by confirming what trend is going along the line. Oh my brother, the trend has changed, so exit. These are just things that people design with algorithmic calculation and flowchart to help your trading lifestyle easy. If it is easy, nobody would have been learning by now. But because it's not easy, those who are in the market for years are still losing trade. All right, so that's just by the way. So probably if you are trading live with me, you'll be seeing some of these things. And unfortunately, they did not come with the MetaTrader as well. I also use candle timer. That let me know the number of time a new candle is forming. I also have my special channel that helps me to give me the trend of the market based on the current market price. That helps me with the decision of the market. It gives me color coding. For instance, where are you? At this point here on 15 minutes, it has given me this green up here that tells me the market is preparing to buy. So it changes color along the line. Sometimes I use it to trade. Sometimes I add other stuff to it. All right. So these are all part of the support and resistance. So when you look at my baseline, which is Kijun Ichimoku, it gives me a baseline. The cloud gave me support and resistance. There is another component in it that gives you another support and resistance. So it's just to give you that layout to know potential price support and price resistances to help your decision making. Now, there are points in time you do your analysis and then it won't work. You'll be asking yourself, especially currency. Okay, so let's talk about that one quickly. We go into question and answer and then we call it a day. It's not a time of putting a lot of things in the brain. All right, so when will support and resistance not work? So high impact news, we talked about how to trade the news. So probably you analyze the market that this is your resistance. We are expecting that market will come and do some magic. Then you're all the way there, and then something just happens, boom, and break your support. Meaning all the analysis you've done here more or less like invalid. All right. So you now have to redo your analysis again. Now we are mentioning names of candles. So the news long candles, what name do we give it away? That's just by the way. Then company earnings and announcement, especially stocks. When you hear recently when I think I spoke about it yesterday or so, when Ronaldo rejects Coca-Cola and then Coca-Cola share drop up to $4 billion. Same thing can happen and you realize that your analysis, if you're a stock trader, I think I'm spotting this one for you guys to know. These are the only differences you see on stock. So if you're a stock trader, realize that market push up. If you're a currency trader and then there is a major news, you realize that market push up. If there is a change in interest rate in any country, market push up. At that point, your analysis is bullshit. All right. We have when price tested the zone so many times. At this point here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So probably the next one that will come break this particular zone. And then when you're using some of my special EAs, you see something like proving support or proving resistance. When it becomes proving, in fact, that doesn't mean it's strong. It's weaker based on the law of demand and supply. Then we have patience. How do you say it in Chi? Is it not Nyabotre? What is patience? Yeah. So somebody just gave me patience, Nyabotre. And the others will say Jigbodi. So the only point where you do analysis and it won't work is when Patricia has left your home. So if you have Patricia, if you don't have Patricia or patience, you do the analysis and then you realize that you did not observe it. Now mostly when I always involve myself. When we enter the trade and it didn't go well, when we come back to our senses and we are analyzing the data, we heard that okay, it is my fault. At the point where markets eats you up, you'll be angry with your broker and start insulting the broker. Then after you come back to your trade, you realize that it's your fault. So the fact that you want to trade doesn't mean every day you should just be in the machine and looking for something to trade. So patience stops it all these things that we talked about. For instance, you are looking for a confluence here. Let's say all this market is ranging from 4th July till today. It didn't give you any reason to buy. Maybe you are a long-term buyer. It didn't give you any reason. You have to wait patiently until market respects what you want. Please, another mistake we do is chase the market. People chase the market. They run after the market. You don't want, like I'm teaching you right now. I could have made it on 1 cent, 2 cent, 1 cent, 2 cents. I'm very comfortable here doing what I need to do best. All right. The truth is that not trading is also doing something. So the fact that you are not trading doesn't mean you are not doing this. You are not trading, but you are doing something. Maybe you are not trading. For instance, today I learned more than I trade. Somebody will say, oh, he has money. It's not true. But then the skill acquisition is the beautiful aspect of it, where you can give yourself some extra layer of understanding in the market. So this is not learning. This is just the real introduction to support and resistance alone. We are going to practice it from tomorrow, where some of you will use your what's the name? Your phones. I'll teach you how to use the phone, the PC. We would use different chatting softwares so you can become so used to it, and then help you make the right decision to help you become a profitable trader. I believe most of you become profitable trader actually, and then we will help each other along the line. All right, so it's time for questions. Boss, you said you were going to give me that dots, red and green here. Okay, I think I remembered. So when you do the right thing, I'll give it to you. All right, so you can unmute and then ask questions in an orderly manner, please. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mark.
Good evening.
Yeah, I just want to find out those let me say plugin or indicators.
Don't go there. Don't go there. Ask question about support and resistance.
No, I just wanted to ask.
I didn't hear you.
I'm saying that.
I didn't hear. I closed my ears.
No, I'm not asking for it to.
Whether you are buying it or not, I closed my ears.
No, not buying. I was asking, do they have for phone as well?
So it's still part of your tricky question.
Oh no.
Oh, I have to say like this. All right, so please, most of these things is for PC versions, you know.
Oh, okay.
Somebody
indirectly, Leozi want to know if phone version, then he will request tomorrow.
Don't mind him. I grew past that stage.
Why are you asking only phone version?
Oh, I'm just asking because I normally use phone all the time.
You can be moving around with it.
Like
All right, so yes, sir.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, please, can I ask?
Ask.
Okay. So the patterns you've shown us, I think I'm confused with a lot of them, but I think let me start with one. You see the ranging market. I don't know, but I think I watched through well for some time now, and it looks like when, let's say, it's a sell and a buy, then comes the ranging market. I'm just giving an example: a sell and a buy at the same time. Then there's a ranging market. I mean the pattern. Then all of a sudden the candlestick that comes just before the ranging market determines the side where the market will be going. So let's say it's a buy first, then a sell second, ranging market. It means the pattern is going to be a sell, like the market is going to be a sell. I don't know, but
okay, let me help you.
Yes, please.
What happened is that our first problem will be the language of normal English. For instance, okay, you speak to someone in a proverbial way, and then the person, let's say you tell the person wake up, and the person will say, well, I'm not sleeping. But the wake up you are talking about is not sleep wake up. You understand?
Yes.
Now,
Please.
when it comes to that point where you can't get a clear direction to where market is going to based on your style of trading, it is ranging. For example,
Oh, okay.
when we take this asset here, this is a 15-minute time frame. So somebody will someone can be able to make money from here, make money from here. Somebody will make money all this way. Okay. But somebody who trades long term looking for a direction is not seeing this as an opportunity. He is seeing it as a ranging market. Market doesn't have any right direction. The person is looking for something like this.
Okay.
Now, whether market is going down or going up, they are the opposite reactions in it. So if market is buying, definitely there are going to be some sells because it can't keep going up, up, up like that. So we call it, this is an impulsive move, then it breaks, correction. Impulsive move, it breaks, correction. Impulsive, brief. Now when it is also coming down, impulsive, correction. Impulsive, correction. So they all have sells and buy in it. There are some little buy and sell in every activity that happens. But when it is an uptrend, the buy momentum is higher than the sell momentum. And we have something we are coming to learn. Swing high, swing low, lower low, lower high, and lower, all those nyama nyama stuff. We will come there. We are now paving the way to start the real construction of our road. So the ranging market too, we have the rectangular one that goes nicely like this. People trade it. I like it sometimes a lot, but I give it more time to accumulate from the market. I sell, I buy here, I come out, I sell here, I come out, I buy here, I come out, I sell here. There's a lot of money when market is ranging. But when it is choky, it come this way, that's when you wouldn't know what market is doing. But people still find their way out to trade this market. But what we always say is that once you did not get a clear direction in the market, do not force yourself to trade.
Okay.
Please, do you understand?
Okay. Yes, please. Yes, please.
All right, that's fine.
And you made mention of the moving averages as well. You
Yes.
said it gives the best entry point, but
I didn't say
I
so.
didn't get you clearly where you stated that some of the charts will be below the. Oh, okay.
I didn't say it gives you, but then
I didn't get
it is a type of support and resistance. It gives you dynamic support and resistances. So if you are an expert in using them, I know how to use moving averages. So I can wake up and see my chart and I won't draw any support and resistance, and I'll use the moving averages to get my confluence and trade because it acts as dynamic support and resistance.
Okay.
So
are you going to
where do we mention
that?
where do we mention the moving averages? We mention it under the topic support and resistance.
And
So
resistance,
everything that has to do with anything mentioned under support and resistance is based to use it as a support or a resistance. So there are points in time you may use a moving average for entry. At point in time you may use another way for entry. But mostly when it comes for entry, you have to use candlestick to determine the direction of where the market will be going, and you follow it.
Okay.
All right.
Can I ask the last question?
If it is conforming, you can.
Okay, please. After drawing your pattern, let's say
I didn't draw pattern
and then you have
today.
your stop loss.
Hello. We didn't draw
your
pattern today.
resistance and your support and resistance.
Okay.
Yes, please. Yes, please. The support and resistance. Yeah. After drawing, you are going to place your stop loss, and then you take profit from there. Right.
Yeah.
Is it right that maybe if you are not very confident, let me say as a beginner like this, you place a stop loss, can you maybe reduce? Anyway, it's going to be on the leverage and the margins. It's okay. Thank you.
Did you find
I'm
a
okay.
solution? Did you find a solution for yourself? He find his solution. That's good. Yeah, he find his solution.
Yeah, yes.
Now
You have also find your answer in the question.
let me say something
yes.
here. Let me say something here. There is, I don't know how to put it, but when it comes to trading, your eyes in proper configuration with your brain do the rest of the work. Not really what you are taught. What you are taught is just like a manual. For instance, if you are going to fly a plane now, you have a manual. If you are going to land a plane, you have a manual. But when the storm is heavier, there is no manual for it. You have to use your brain. If you go to driving school, look at the things those who went for driving, you see what it taught you. But when you get to the road, you use what you learn in the driving school. Sometimes it does not work. It is your brain that corresponds with your mind and your eyes that work. I think let's see trading like that. Observe critically and try to make meaning into what you are seeing. Today, my friend was asking me, so who taught me forex trading? The person who I learned introduction to forex trading is seriously promoting Ponzi schemes and buying a lot of ICOs now. So I can't say I learned introduction to him from him, but what he told me was that, and what you are learning from me, I'm the only one who knows it. You can't find it anywhere, so don't share it. Unfortunately, it was a lie. All right. So the experience, you can use your eyes to deduce from the whole equation, can simplify your approach towards it. So the ranging is a term, the choky is a term, support and resistance are terms. But today, when I'm making my research, I got a layer to all that I supposed to teach today. I got so many inputs in addition. So what if I were to stick to that I knew alone? I would have keep repeating the same thing every day. All right. So Mr. Samuel, I think you have to, when you read, after you finish reading, take the chart, look at the chart, and deduce something from the chart. And what you are deducing from the chart shouldn't be from the book. You start developing a different approach and understanding for the whole journey of Forex. All right. Any other person?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other person? I know some people will not understand anything, but you will get it, definitely. Is there a question for clarification? Mr. Frank? Mr. Kofi, Mr. Joseph, I keep mentioning names. Okay, Mr. Shadrach, what do you want to say?
All right. This is a clarification.
Okay.
What I would say is that as you just said, that some people will say they've not gotten anything. Yeah. The forex trading, what I have learned about it, or from the previous things that you have taught us, and what I'm seeing is that it is something that we need. You need not to rush in it. That is what I see. Because when I started, I tried that one, though I didn't know anything at all. I deposited an amount before I realized you cannot share. Because I am such a person with itchy fingers. The moment there's money in my account, I have to try to trade. And it is very interesting. The moment you be seeing this blue, then let me go for it. Before you realize you have gone to wherever you don't want to go. So as we are learning, for instance, there are some people who are having this in mind that by this time they are saying that there is money, or when the moment you start you get money. That is what is in some people's mind, that the moment you start, you have to get money because there is money in it and all these kind of things. But when you really understand it, you go, or you before you realize you are making the money. But if you don't understand it, you don't know anything about it at all. Therefore, if you are going to fall into a pit, you'll be going directly, because you don't know how to set your stop loss and those kind of things. But when we take our time and we are able to absorb everything, anything that the moment you enter into the chat, you'll be seeing them like a video or like just a movie, because you'll be seeing it. Oh, okay, we talk about it. This is what is happening. So it means that this is exactly what is going to happen to me. When I move here, I know this is what is going to happen. Then it will keep on refreshing, or it will keep on coming to your mind. Then you begin to apply it. So what I will say is that because yesterday, for instance, I wanted to say something about because when you started, you mentioned of somebody calling you by saying that he didn't understand anything, just because he want to make money. That is all. That is in his mind. So when he's not seeing the money, then he will tell you that he don't understand. But this is not the time for the money. It is time for her to apply the skills. Then later the money will follow. So this is what I have to say. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right.
What
so
he's saying is very true.
let me speak for you.
I beg. Let me say my own thing. If not, you make me cry.
let him say it for you, so that he'll add more figure to it.
All right.
He'll say
it. All right. So, guys, I do deposits for Derry. So anybody that call me to do deposit, in fact, it's your own money, but I will interrogate you to know if you know where you are going. Now, that day, Leonzi, the evidence is that I was speaking with someone that's joining, Dorothea, someone. She was on the call when you called me that you want to do the deposit. Then I said, this is my friend there. I flew for him small, but let him go and come. I said, let him go and come. All right. Because I was there. Do you understand? Yeah, so Leon, let's hear from you.
Oh, you said it all. Okay, what I wanted to say is, the thing is, knowing how to operate the system is different from understanding the system.
Yeah.
So we should keep these two things in mind. Let's say when I started, I know how to operate the system. So I thought I can make money. That was why I contacted you, that I want to deposit some money. But I've forgotten that understanding the system is also another thing. So I lose some money. Before I wanted to deposit again, you said no, you not allow me to deposit. Even though it's my own money.
I said what?
You said you not allow me to deposit.
I said I won't allow you to deposit. And now,
So it's your own money.
Does it make
Then
sense
send
to
it
you
to me.
now?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And I've been trading with them since till now.
Very good. I had a student who blew his money up to almost $1,000. He deposited, and then I told him that this is the last time I'm depositing for him. It's his own money. So he contacted me that I want to do. I said, what are you coming to do? He said he's coming to trade. What are you coming to trade? He said boom and crash. What is your trading plan? He said
That's dangerous asset.
He said he wants to make 10% every. He wants to make $100. I told him that's not a plan, so I didn't deposit for him. He has $50 in the account. So because I said I won't deposit for him, he went back and do the right thing and called me that he wants to withdraw, and he withdrew $500. So sometimes somebody has to put pressure on you to
it's true.
To pave the way for you.
Yeah, it's true.
Another thing is that when you go through YouTube, Telegram, we have what we call marketing materials and educational material. Look at how clean my Telegram platform is. Those who joined today, you guys should see how clean is it. Then you go out to other Telegram places and people just put posts, okay, so that you can join their VIP, they make money 2 days, they won't post the signal again. People are just using that to make some income from you every single day. So when you come to informations you get, my people, if you're not careful, you even know the right thing, but you'll be circulating around it. Then your hard-earned money is going. Then you'll be saying that forex trading is not good. I discovered myself, but it's not everybody that can discover themselves. The day I discovered myself, $2,000 went to the drain. Yes, $2,000. I'll be a year older in that. Today is when? 1 month. Yes, some few days more. I'll be one year for that day. But after it hit me, I went back, do the right thing, look for the right information. I came back. And I feel that I have to. There are people who deposit to trade crap. My people, they don't know what is loss. They don't know what is some basic questions. They don't know it. I say, oh, my friends say money day inside. Oh, Charlie, you deposit for me. Then they deposit $10. After 2 hours, they call and say, oh, Charlie, I lost some more deposit. Then it gets to a point they all fall off the line. The reason is that people only want to make money from all those people and sell indicators, EAs, and stuff for them. Imagine someone who bought EA, a robot, $3,000, and then deposit $5,000. And because he doesn't know how to maneuver the robot, he lost all that money in less than 24 hours. What do you expect the person will say to forex trading? But it is not forex. All right. Please, how will you know that there is a demand or supply? Because of that, you enter a trade. Who asked that question? Mr. Joseph. This is a very interesting question, and you do it based on you can use patterns formation, which we'll look at. You can use reversal patterns as well, which we'll look at. But the most important thing is to use order flow, how market is, the momentum in the market. You must be able to know when there is exhaustion in the market, when market is buying, or when you are driving a car and then your fuel is getting finished. You must get to know that. All right. So when the market is moving, when we touch a little bit of institutional trading and other, I'll show you something where we have some places we call liquidity, where market makers intentionally, instead of moving the market at this point, they consolidate it a little, and people are entering buy, sell. Okay, I think it will buy, enter, buy, I put my stop loss. I think it will buy, enter, buy, I put my stop loss. Then before they realize, they will come and make clear the stop losses, and then they start the major. For instance, when you look at this level here, there is a pattern that formed here that expect market to buy. Now, if you are scalping, yes, you'll make profit. But if your target is to take profit here, it means that at this level here, market will give you a little profit. Now, if you don't know how to set your stop loss, then this move cleared the stop loss. So the next thing is that before the real move commences, if it's going to be an uptrend, before the real move commences, they can adjust market to a little bit down here. Now this down is called the hunt. Then after that, you see the momentum climbing. So it's also something. That's why I've invested money to buy the tools that give me supply and demand. They give me, once market is forming it, they let me know I enter the market with it. But if you don't know the basics of it, there is no need of you getting the tool, because you are going to misuse it. And then we have the other technical analysis and market formations, and then the confluence to help you know all those things. And then you must also look at the point where market is ranging. When market is ranging, then we are going to look at higher high, a higher low, higher high. We are going to look at lower low and lower high. We are going to look at swing high, swing low. We are also going to look at new high. We are going to look at high of the day, which is HOD. Somebody will say head of department, but this is HOD, high of the day, and then low of the day. We are going to look at all those formation to literally tell you, okay, when market is doing higher high, lower high, or higher high, lower low, what is expected, and stuff like that. I mean, that will also answer your number one question. What is important of drawing a resistance line, and how can a zone help a trader? Okay, so if you are able to understand and know how to draw a support and resistance and the zone, when you are dealing with the zone, we actually have zone trading on each one. The clouded, when you draw you spot your high of the day, low of the day, high of the day, the clouded places becomes your zone. And then once they are broken, market takes direction to where it is expected. So the importance of support and resistance is to know the layer where market has been rejected above or rejected below. That is just like you are hitting, let's say you wash, every day you wash and you are pouring water on your wall. There are two things involved. Either the water makes your wall stronger, or it makes your wall weaker, and then one day break and fall on you. The same applies to the forex market. So it's just like a wall ceiling where you can be bouncing something and then the thing will go and hit the ceiling, go out, and then you don't find it again. So support and resistance is more or less like an important tool to help your decision making, where to exit the trade, where to enter the trade. Those two things are what people are fighting to understand. But you must learn how to apply it the right way. Thank you, Mr. Joseph, for asking those wonderful questions. I like questions because they bring out better explanations to even what I said or thought earlier. All right, so we have 5 minutes more to go. I want to know who is learning and who is not learning. Whether you understand or not, is someone learning? Can I just say, yes, I'm learning? No, I'm not learning. I'm not actually getting it. Oh, I'm wasting my time. Let's know those people so that we'll see how I can start forming another layer of explanation for those people. Those who are also getting it, how we can move them to the advanced level so that they can also exchange ideas with them. And those who use my referral link, they are the people who may have access to some of the things I use and then my way of learning and then other stuff. I said it before, and then it has nothing to do with the skill you are coming to acquire. But then it's only giving me recognition that I brought you into the platform. Then I cover you a little and etc. So are you learning? Who is not learning something? Okay, so Mr. Dominic, is this your first time? Okay, Madam Doka says she's learning. All right, that's fine. That's awesome. Mr. Dominic, is it your first time? Are you a new trader or you're an existing trader? You can just drop it and then let's know you better. Which of the platforms are you on? Is it crypto, college, or stuff like that? All right, Mr. Joseph said he's learning. Okay, so we have 3 people that said they are learning. So we assume that if someone say I'm learning, but I'm really learning. Okay, all right, that's fine. Okay, so thank you all for the time. Without a student or a learner, we don't have a teacher. And without a teacher, we don't have a student. So let's treat each other the same way and then grow to become someone big in this industry. I'm really learning a lot from you and also learning outside this. Okay, that's awesome. Yes, researches help you to gain more knowledge and then it paves your way to become a successful trader, especially if you know how to filter information you get from the internet. I'm very sure that it will help you get the right information. All right, so without much ado, the ladies, yes, or the women. I don't know if we are ladies or women. I saw some.
Hey, I don't even hear from the ladies. So
yeah, this one they are slow under grass. Yeah,
because the other one, the way they were, they can talk.
Sister Dorcas is there. She will not talk. Dorcas is there. She will not talk.
A whole Dorcas.
All right. So, when it comes to women in tech, ladies in tech, I always tell people that when a woman writes a program,
okay.
When a woman writes a program, like a programming language, you will never see error inside. The greatest ethical hackers in the world, the dangerous ones, it is women that are behind it.
Are the ladies?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
They are dangerous because naturally, God designed women to handle multiple tasks.
I tell you.
That's why when a woman can be washing at the same time, cooking bamboo, preparing soup, taking care of the child. But put a man in that suit, he'll be confused.
Just like Sister Dorcas.
Go to Telegram. Go to Telegram and see those scammers over there. They use women.
Exactly. So if you are